What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Pardon my voice, dealing with a little sore throat, but it's a very important video because by the time this video releases, probably be about October 1st or so. And this is the biggest, it's really kind of like a scam. It's so much misinformation in the hunting industry, and that is the October law. I make a video about this every single year, but I always describe the situation as 25 years ago when I used to go to outfitters and stuff. We'd get to the outfitter and they're sending you pictures all summer long. Oh, look at all these great bucks and everything. Then all of a sudden you get there, for instance, Ohio, you get there October 1st for the season opener, and all of a sudden the outfitter's saying, oh my God, I'm sorry guys, it's the October law, the deer's just not moving. Well, what happened, right? How come all of a sudden that the deer aren't moving and it's October? Do the deer magically know that it's October and just decide not to move? No, it's because a week leading up to the season, they're baiting all the feeders, right? So now they're putting pressure into the area, and it's all of a sudden causing the deer to shift patterns, right? It's going to shift patterns, or they're going to go elsewhere, or they'll just come back to the feed at nighttime when the deer know that human intrusion is not there. So it's a situation where most of the time it's hunters create this problem on their own property, and it's usually dependent on a lot of factors, crops in the area, because you have two parts to this. The one part of 50% of this is human issues where we create this problem. The other 50% is just food changing, but the food changes throughout the season, throughout the entire year. So what's palatable today may not be palatable next week. So deer are constantly shifting their area based on food and pressure, right? And there's just some properties where deer just don't want to be. So this whole October law thing isn't just because it's October. This law, so-called law, could happen in September, could happen in October, could happen in November. Hunters always want to make an excuse of why they're not seeing deer or this, that, and the other. Blame it on October law, right? Well, this October law thing came up years ago, and it was a whole thing about selling magazine articles. You have to understand, all this stuff that comes out there, it's just people want to sell magazines and articles and all these moon guides 25 years ago. It was all related around the October law, and it's the biggest scam really in the hunting industry. And every year after year, social media, you'll see guys, I don't understand, I'm not seeing deer, it must be the October law. No, it's not October. It's not just because it's October, right? It's because your hunting season started, you're entering the woods, you're causing this pressure on the wildlife. Deer don't want to see us, right? So all of a sudden they're left alone for the majority of the year, and then all of a sudden hunting season starts, right? They're starting to see people in tree stands, they're getting shot at, they're skittish, and all of a sudden it's to hunters, it's the October law. No, it's just because the pressure started and the deer have shifted patterns. The other part of this is food changing. This time of year, a lot of vegetation is going dormant, right? It's dying off, it's turning yellow, it's going dormant. So the deer have to shift where the palatable food source is. That could be a food plot on a neighbor's property, it could be a food plot on your property, it could be a woody browse situation that time of year. But acorns dropping is also a very important part of that in the food equation to whitetails. But all this stuff happens year round. In the springtime you have a shift as well because everything's greening up, right? So deer are going to shift where the most palatable green food source is at that time of the year. In the fall they're shifting as well. September, October or so, the crops are being harvested, beans are turning yellow. In my area, typically the beans and things are turning yellow right around mid-September or so, give or take a week or two, depending when they're planting and how dry the season was. But all this stuff changes year round. It just doesn't change in October. But there's a lot of hunting seasons in the States where it starts in October, and a lot of them are technically the big buck states where it starts in October, and all of a sudden social media, it's the October law, we're not seeing deer. But here's the thing with it, the problem, the issue with it is, let's say you have 20 acres to hunt, right? And the deer that time of year just don't want to be on your property. Habitat features, whatever it is, the bucks, doesn't want to be there. Well, if they shift off your 20 acres, which they leave anyway, they're not staying on 20 acres, but if they're not using your property, guess what? You're SOL, because what are you going to do? Can't hunt the neighbor's property. So, and then these are the people that's, experiencing this situation, and they're going on social media saying it's the October law. Well, you only have 20 acres to hunt. And the deer's not staying on 20 acres. So in your mind, it must be the October law. No, it's because the deer shifted over to the next 100 acres and they're over there where there's less pressure and more maybe unique habitat features that property has where your property doesn't. So it's just this whole thing. Where the deer want to be? Where's the food at? Where's the hunting pressure at? Where can the deer go to feel safe? On public land, if you're, I don't know, hunting a 100-acre section and the deer aren't there, well, guess what? You can just shift over to the next 100 acres and shift over to the next 100 acres. Find the acorns. Find an area where the deer, where there's less hunting pressure, and that's where the deer are going to be. So don't buy into this October law thing, and most of the time it's a human situation where we create, just like the dough factory stuff that I've talked about for many years. It's a human situation where we create that dough factory because of habitat features and different various things. But this whole October law, if you start seeing comments on social media, don't let it get you down. Just redirect, get with yourself, talk it out, and figure out, did I create this, or is it just a situation where the deer, I'm only hunting 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, acres, and the deer just don't want to be there. Maybe you need to regroup, maybe go hunt some public land, or go out and search and find that area where the deer have moved. For more information on the October law and to become a better habitat manager, give this video a watch right here and subscribe over here. See you guys on the next video.